Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jessica and I created Dolled Up by Jay. So in today's video, we are back on our Real Housewives of Dubai channel series. This is about episode 4. This episode was definitely interesting. I was looking forward to it because of the preview last week. You know, it got a little spicy, got a little dramatic, so we're gonna go over some of the main points. If you're into it, give the video a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to stay a part of this channel series, as well as Dubai vlogs and Dubai content and fashion content. I am a Dubai resident. I live in Dubai, so I have inside information about some of the locations and some of the things about Dubai that the show airs. Okay, so the episode begins talking about Caroline Brooks' new salon spa she's opening. I believe the area that she ended up liking is actually in City Walk, so it's about 15 minutes from downtown. Interesting because some of the rental prices that they were showing with the 2 units they displayed on the show were in US dollars. Now, it said that the second place that she really liked, that was in City Walk once again, you know, this is kind of a Olympic village of Dubai. If you're from Vancouver, you'll know this. It's kind of like a developing area. Not really many sky rises. There are some around, but the actual City Walk building is kind of like an open air, kind of little shopping area, restaurant area, and living area. So it's kind of mixed use / residential. And I went online to look at the prices because the second property she liked was 25,000 US dollars for 2,000 square feet. And there were properties that were bigger than this for less money. So someone told me they heard that certain things in the show are actually in dirhams, AED, but they're saying they're US dollars. So that would make more sense. But again, I'm not a real estate agent. I'm not up to speed with how much commercial rental prices are per neighborhood versus residential rental prices per neighborhood. I know a little bit more about that since living here. So I just found 25,000 US dollars, personally a little bit steep for only a 2,000 square foot salon, you know, in kind of a up and coming neighborhood. A lot of the shops there aren't fully done yet. It's not really a destination yet. It's a place people live and there's some restaurants, but it's not a destination. So I feel personally like they inflated the price for the show. You can disagree with me if you're from Dubai. I would love to get your feedback on the prices, but that's just an interesting takeaway I had from that. But I am really excited to see her spa, you know, even visit it, and that would be really cool. And I do really like that she's catering to all different skin tones because, of course, for lasers, you know, even myself, like if you get a laser treatment and there's any sort of pigmentation, say you've done a self-tan and you're fair like me, you actually can't do laser hair removal if you have self-tan on your skin because the laser will just pick that up. It can burn you. So I can't imagine, you know, a woman of color who wants to do a dermatological laser treatment. I don't know how that works. And so she's saying for her, she has to run around to all these different salons in Dubai to find the proper tools and techniques and estheticians for her to look, you know, how she looks. She said, you all want to look like me, you know. So I really think that's awesome. She's going to cater to all skin tones. It'll be like a one-stop shop. So I think that is wonderful. Okay, next they go to Mina's husband's office and they were talking about how she's gonna get a new Rolls Royce and they were talking about the license plates. So that was interesting. The license plates in Dubai are definitely a thing. I think personally it's the biggest waste of money you could ever do, but basically license plates in Dubai, if it's anything with 4 digits or less, usually you have to pay for that or it's for the royals. So the ruler of Dubai has number 1. But it's interesting because some license plates will have a letter first in off to the side and then a number. But I think 1 is reserved specifically for the ruler of Dubai. But if you ever see a car in Dubai with, you know, 1 digit, 2 digits, usually they are part of the royal family or a political figure or just very rich. I think in a later episode preview, they said it was like 33 million dirhams for a, you know, I think it was a single digit license plate. So that's just under 10 million US dollars. And this is just crazy just to have a license plate with a single or double digit. That's 100% true. License plates are so expensive here. So when the husband was saying, should we get you a license plate with limited digits, you know, it's more than the car. It's such a waste of money in my opinion. And like no one really cares that much. You'll see it and you'll be like, oh cool. Like it almost draws more attention to you. And yeah, not much else really happened. Lesa was talking about her business with Mina Roe, how it's been booming since the fashion show and online sales were up, and she wanted her husband to sign off on her non-maternity collection because I guess he's the appointed CFO. He also apparently funds the whole company. He made a comment, I believe, in the last episode, in episode 3. You know, he just signs for the bills, he's funding the company, and she's saying that they were now into the 8 figures of revenue. But I don't know, I did a little digging and their Instagram followers, they're okay. I looked online at the prices. They're about maybe like 50 to 200 US dollars per piece. But the fact that she's doing maternity, which women will only shop maybe like once every 2 years, depending how many children they have, that's a bit of a limited audience. And I mean, maybe there was a big need for it. Maybe there was a big need. And also the non-maternity wear, she's just signing off on production for. But to say they're making 8 figures, that means they're making tens of millions of dollars. I think she meant dirhams. 2.5 million US dollars is about 10 million dirhams. So it could be she's making a couple million from the line, which is fabulous, great. You know, I really like that the show is showcasing women that are doing their own businesses and doing all these things. One thing that people on Twitter were saying was that, you know, the way he was speaking to her was quite rude and he was on his phone the whole time. They were trying to have a meeting and he was just like, sorry, I've got to work, I've got to work. I think part of this, and you might disagree with me, but I think part of him being so engrossed in his other work is because I feel like he probably has the CFO role because he's invested himself in the company and he's offered his personal expertise because he's in the finance realm. I totally understand if he has legitimate like business going on that actually brings money into them, that finances her company. You know, I understand why he would make that take precedent. You can totally disagree with me, but at the end of the day, I have a feeling maybe he's not paid to do the CFO role. Maybe he just takes a cut of the revenue. But at the end, you know, she did want him to sign off on her non-maternity line. And he said, I don't want to do it without seeing the numbers. That's literally my job. I have to keep you in check with the budget, 100%. In the end, he did say, yeah, go ahead. I trust you. I believe in you, right? So I don't think he was that bad, just personally. But you guys can sound off in the comments. I'd like to know your thoughts. Next we have, you see Chanel, Ayan, they're walking around Dubai Marina. So I don't know if they live in Dubai Marina, but it would kind of make sense if they were doing an evening walk there. Maybe she does live in Dubai Marina. I don't believe the show has showed where she lives yet. We've seen Caroline Brooks' villa. We've seen Caroline Stanbury. Hey guys, okay, sorry, my camera died last night and then my dinner arrived and I was just like, I'll just pick this up tomorrow. So, you know, second day hair going on, but we're still gonna continue the video. So I believe I left off talking about, you know, Chanel Ayan, and we haven't seen her house or anything. She was talking about how she met her husband and he's just so good to her and she almost had to marry her cousin, which I'm like, what? But I mean, in some cultures, I think this is still a thing. Like they do arranged marriages and they marry into the second cousins to keep like the bloodline going. It's kind of crazy. I know 100% it's crazy. So she almost had to marry her cousin. She found her husband, I believe, a week before the wedding, which is crazy. So she kind of like got saved, you know what I mean? So I'm really happy for her. She is with someone that she really loves and cares about, and they look very sweet together. I think I was also talking about Caroline Stanbury building her mega mansion in Al Barari. She sounded honestly a little bit arrogant when she was talking about the neighborhood. She's like, oh, this person lives here, this person lives here. You know, not everyone can just get in, and this is where she's building her place. So I was a little bit like, you know, it's obviously gonna be really beautiful when it's done. I'm honestly wondering, like, who's paying for it all? Like, is Sergio paying half? Is she paying half? I mean, like, it's not really anyone's business, but I am curious to know, like, who is paying for this entire villa, because this is going to be so expensive, you know, custom home from scratch of that square footage in a wealthy neighborhood of Dubai. Interesting. Yeah, then the night goes on to the party where they have the drama. And now Ayan, she's sitting next to Sergio and she's talking about how, you know, I think you're a wonderful person. I love your energy. I can tell you're a good person. And Caroline is getting so visibly upset because they're having like a nice conversation. And she even says to Sergio, like, you know, I don't really have an issue with her. I think she has an issue with me. I think in the end, they're kind of like, yay, we can be friends. But he's getting really visibly upset with Sergio speaking to Ayan at first. And I thought this was honestly like a bit childish, you know? I mean, I get it. It's kind of like, if your best friend likes someone you hate, then they shouldn't. But it's so childish. It's so high school. So I think her reaction was a little bit like, you know, really? And then the comment about, oh, she's gonna S your, you know, to, I think it was Lesa, and Lesa said if I did that he wouldn't come home to you. I was just like, oh my god. Caroline Stanbury said, oh, he's friends with them now, and then everyone took this racially on Twitter. I personally don't think that she meant it as them, as in like the women of color. I mean, she's the only white woman in the show, but she wasn't referring to them as in all of them. I think she was just referring to Ayan and Lesa. And then after it became a big thing and they were all very offended. I mean, obviously I'm not a person of color, so it's easy for me to say, like, I don't think she meant it that way. I could be wrong, but I think she just meant them, as in like them, like the girls she's not getting along with right now, you know? And then Lesa saying that you should have been at my show and yada yada, and they were just kind of having a bit of a standoff. So it was an interesting episode. In the end, they kind of fakely agreed, Caroline and Ayan, to move forward, and you know, I'm sure we'll be friends. I think they definitely could have a budding friendship in the works. I feel like this is how reality shows go. It's always like the arch enemies in the beginning that hate each other end up being like the closest, and then having falling outs with other people on the show. So I'm kind of interested to see like what happens. The party itself looked really gorgeous. Nina said that any party of Bijan, I think his name was, the friend, any party of his is normally in the 6 figures. I mean, it looked like a beautiful party. Again, 6 figures could mean 30,000 US, but 100,000 dirhams, right? But by the look of the party, I think it was a lot, because she did say upper 6 figures, and they had dancers flown in from LA, which is like, I don't know why you would do that, because there's honestly so many amazing entertainers in Dubai. You know, we have like Billionaire Club, there is Papillon, there was Sublimotion, which was like very, very like up there. So they have live entertainment and beautiful supper clubs here. I don't really think they need to fly people 15 hours from LA to perform at a party for one night. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but I just think that's like ridiculous. Personally, the party itself did look amazing. It didn't honestly look like there was that many people there, but it definitely looked like it was maybe in a large yard of a private villa, because there was nothing about the party or the surrounding area that looked like it was actually in a club. I think they literally had the stage built and all the beautiful hanging art pieces built. After this episode, a lot of people were very like anti-Caroline and very like replace Caroline with Sergio on the show, which is crazy. One thing, I'm not sure if you follow them on Instagram, but they recently, Caroline and Sergio, went to Mykonos, and within 3 hours they had their villa robbed, which is horrible. The thing is though, is, you know, someone said online, you posted publicly where you were going and that you were leaving for 2 months. I mean, yeah, but wouldn't it make sense they were robbed in Dubai, because they said their house is vacant for 2 months now? You know what I mean? I mean, Dubai is a very safe place. The security is quite like intense here, different protocols. Obviously like traumatic and horrible, and I guess one of the guys was still in the house when they got there. I think when you have so many followers on social media, or in general, you know, it's a safety thing. Not posting exactly where you are at that exact time. Like, it's a rule of thumb. They always say you should post somewhere after you leave or a few days later. Because, for example, they got there, they were posting the villa right away. So anyone on Instagram, account is public, anyone on Instagram could have, you know, who knows the island, found where she was staying, and then waited till she posted the next destination or posted them driving around in their Jeep again, and then robbed the place. You know what I mean? I think that what happened is obviously terrible, and she said that the villa was in the middle of nowhere, and kind of joking that it was a bit like scary. And then she said they hired private security after. It's actually interesting, because when I was in Mykonos last year, after the first 5-6 days, we went to a villa because there was a group of us, and it honestly just made sense. We had a way bigger space for like basically the same money as renting a bunch of hotel rooms. And we had a villa, and it had multi-levels, so really like anyone could have been on the property and you wouldn't really know. There's like 3 levels to the villa, like it was in this like hill, but it had live-in staff. So because of that, we didn't hire any security, and it was up a really long steep road that had a view. But I did hear from a friend of mine who goes every single year. She said that if you do rent a villa, you really need to be careful with where it's located, and especially, you know, if the staff aren't live-in and you don't have maybe any staff, or you just have cleaning once a week, get security, because people know that very rich people flock to Mykonos. It can be like 3,000, 4,000, 12,000, 15,000 euros a night for a villa there. Like, it's not a cheap island. The restaurants are expensive, the drinks are expensive, the cars are expensive, still at Mykonos though. But security is a big thing there. So I'm only talking about this because it's like recent news, and if you guys are into like Housewives series, you might find this interesting. Then another thing from that is there were people online saying that the villa robbery was staged to garner sympathy because of how everyone was going against her on Twitter. People on Twitter were really coming for her, saying like, you're a horrible person, and just a bunch of mean things. Like, I'm not gonna like repost them on this video, I just don't think it's necessary, but people in the Twitter community were very like not having it after this recent Housewives episode. Some crappy person online said that this was staged to garner sympathy, etc., and it was all fake. I mean, I don't think so. She's put out a lot of Instagram stories about it not being fake. I don't know why you'd want to bring that into the universe, because I think if you pretend something bad happened to you, or a family member is ill, or make some sort of excuse about something bad happened to you or anyone around you, like, I really believe in karma, so I think if you put those things out into the universe, then they'll happen to you, or they'll happen to someone close to you in some way. You know what I mean? So I don't think it was staged, but I would love to know what you guys think in the comments about this last episode. And, you know, if you've been to Mykonos and what your experience was as well. I love Mykonos. I know I always talk about it. You're probably like, shut up and go there already. I hope you guys enjoyed this little episode 4 recap. If you guys are enjoying this channel series and you want the Real Housewives of Dubai drama updates and inside Dubai information, definitely subscribe to be updated on future uploads, Dubai vlogs, and weekly channel content. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching. I love you, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.